Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be doing something really tailor-made for you. We're diving into the fascinating world of cosmic power, and we're going to be looking at it through the lens of an ancient text called Mundo, which translates to "on the world."
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible journey through how those ancient thinkers grappled with how the universe was organized and the role of a divine force.
Exactly. And to help us navigate this, we've got excerpts from the Mundo text itself, and we're also going to be looking at how these ideas were received and interpreted
Yeah,
throughout history. We've got some great academic essays to help us with that. And of course, I'm joined by expert speaker to guide us through all these complex concepts. So are you ready to get started?
absolutely. De Mundo sets a bold tone right from the beginning. It contrasts philosophy with these more limited forms of inquiry. It emphasizes philosophy's power to allow the soul to essentially journey to the heavens. It's claiming that philosophy can unlock profound truths about the universe and even help us understand the divine.
So it's like Mundo is saying, forget just studying the world around you. Philosophy can take you to the stars.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And what's even more interesting is that the text is addressed to Alexander, who scholars believe was likely a student. So you can imagine this as a master guiding their pupil through these grand ideas and revealing the potential of philosophical exploration.
It really makes you think about how knowledge was passed down in ancient times,
Yeah.
almost like this personal mentorship.
Exactly. Yeah, it adds another layer to our understanding of the text's purpose and its intended audience. So let's step into the world that De Mundo envisions. It paints this picture of the Earth encircled by Oceanus, that vast primordial sea from Greek mythology. It describes various lands, even mentioning the British Isles. It claims they're larger than any previously known islands.
Now, it's amazing to see how geographical knowledge was expanding, even if some of the details might have been based on, travelers' tales or speculation.
Yeah, it's a reminder that the quest for knowledge and exploration has always been there. It's always been a part of the human experience. De Mundo also goes into natural phenomena, from earthquakes and thunder to these different types of winds, even these fire winds, which sound incredibly intense. What's fascinating is how it tries to offer natural explanations for these events. So, for example, it explains thunder as a wind violently tearing through clouds, and lightning occurs when that wind ignites and produces light.
So it's this blend of observation and interpretation. It's like
Yeah.
an early attempt to understand these powerful forces that shape the world.
Now, one of the key themes that emerges is this idea of cosmic harmony. De Mundo highlights the existence of opposites in the universe, hot and cold, wet and dry. Yet it maintains that there's this underlying balance. It proposes that the cosmos, by being held together in this spherical shape, forces these opposing elements into this kind of agreement, preventing the universe from self-destruction.
So it's almost like nature itself is striving for equilibrium.
Precisely. This concept of opposing forces achieving balance is really compelling. I mean, think about how this idea might resonate even today. Do we see echoes of this striving for equilibrium in our modern understanding of things like ecosystems or even societal structures? It's a question worth pondering.
But even with this natural balance, the Mundo doesn't leave out the idea of a divine force. It uses these vivid images to describe this force, comparing it to a chorus with a leader or a king ruling from a grand palace. What stands out to you about how the Mundo portrays the actions and attributes of this god?
Well, it presents this God who oversees the universe, ensuring its smooth operation. The text emphasizes his power and wisdom, portraying him as the one who sets everything in motion and maintains order, yet remains distinct from the world itself.
So it's like this cosmic conductor orchestrating this grand symphony of the universe.
Yeah, that's a fantastic analogy. What I find particularly intriguing is that De Mundo doesn't limit itself to a single name. For this divine force, it offers multiple names, each tied to a specific effect he causes, whether it's God of lightning or fruit bringer.
Hmm. That's interesting. Why do you think it does that? What could that tell us about how people in ancient times conceptualize the divine?
I think it reflects a nuanced understanding of God's powers and attributes. Rather than seeing him as this singular static entity, they recognized his diverse manifestations and actions in the world. Each name captures a different facet of his influence.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to grasp this multifaceted nature of the divine, recognizing all the different ways in which this cosmic power
Yeah.
might be, experienced and understood.
And that brings us to the really interesting part, how De Mundo has been debated and interpreted throughout history. You mentioned that this text has sparked centuries of discussion. Were people always convinced about its claims about God? Not at all. This is where things get really fascinating. Different thinkers have approached Mundo from all sorts of angles, leading to this really rich tapestry of interpretations. Some scholars see it as advocating for monotheism, pointing to its emphasis on a single, all-powerful God governing the cosmos.
But it sounds like others weren't so quick to embrace that singular interpretation.
Exactly. Some focused more on this intriguing concept of dynamis, this divine power that kind of permeates the world. They saw this dynamis as suggesting this more diffused, possibly even impersonal form of divinity, like this sort of cosmic energy flowing through everything.
So instead of this single God kind of residing up there, it's more like this universal force that's woven into the fabric of existence.
Precisely. And this idea of dynamis actually connects to how some Jewish and Christian authors engaged with Dondo.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, I'm curious how these different religious traditions interpreted the text.
Well, for example, certain Jewish thinkers found resonance between the concept of dynamis and their understanding of the Hebrew God's creative power. They were drawn to de Mundo's emphasis on this divine force that shapes and sustains the universe.
So even though their specific beliefs might have differed, they saw some common ground in this idea of this powerful creative force underlying all of existence.
Exactly. And Christian authors also found intriguing connections. Some saw parallels between dynamis and the concept of the Logos, the Word of God, which plays this central role in their theology.
So just to clarify for our listeners, the Logos represents this divine principle through which God created and interacts with the world, almost like this bridge between the transcendent God and the material universe.
Yes, and that's where some Christian thinkers saw the connection. Dynamis is as this pervasive divine power, resonating with their understanding of the Logos as this link between God and creation.
It's amazing how one ancient text could spark such a diverse range of interpretations across different cultures and belief systems.
It really speaks to the enduring power of these ancient ideas. They continue to challenge us to think deeply about the nature of the universe and the forces that shape our existence.
Speaking of which, after exploring de Mundo and its various interpretations, what stands out to you about how people have thought about cosmic power throughout history? Have you noticed any common threads or striking differences?
What I find particularly fascinating is this enduring human quest to understand our place in this vast and mysterious universe, whether it's through philosophical inquiry, religious interpretation, or scientific exploration. We're constantly seeking meaning and purpose amidst the cosmos.
It makes you wonder how our understanding of cosmic power might continue to evolve in the future.
Yeah, it really does. Especially considering how much our scientific knowledge has advanced. If De Mundo were written today, how do you think it would describe cosmic power, given our understanding of things like the Big Bang, or dark matter, or quantum entanglement? That's a really thought-provoking question. I mean, would it draw parallels between those ancient philosophical concepts and these mind-boggling scientific discoveries? Would it try to reconcile ancient wisdom with modern cosmology? It would be fascinating to see how a contemporary De Mundo would bridge that gap.
It really highlights how human curiosity and the search for understanding are timeless, like we're all part of this ongoing quest to unravel the mysteries of the universe and our place in it.
Absolutely. And perhaps De Mundo, even though it was written centuries ago, can still offer us some valuable insights along the way. It reminds us to think deeply, to question those assumptions we have, and to approach these big questions with a sense of wonder and humility.
It's been an incredible journey exploring de Mundo and the impact it's had on thought throughout history. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and a huge thank you to expert speaker for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure. It's always exciting to see how these ancient ideas continue to resonate with modern audiences.
And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. We've talked about how de Mundo might describe cosmic power today. But here's a twist. If you were to write your own version of de Mundo for the 21st century, how would you describe cosmic power? What metaphors or comparisons would you use to capture its essence?
That's a fantastic challenge. It encourages us to engage with these ancient ideas in a creative and personal way, bridging the gap between the past and present.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe your modern-day de Mundo will inspire future generations to contemplate the mysteries of the universe.
And if you're eager to dive even deeper into these ideas, don't forget to check out the resources on the Ultimate Masters website and WhatsApp. Feel free to share this deep dive with anyone who might find it valuable.
Thank you again for joining us on the Deep Dive. Be sure to check back daily for a new episode. And if you're looking for more in-depth guidance or have questions about the material we discussed today, Visit www.ultimatemasters.org/coaching or reach out to us on WhatsApp at +256 7713 24119. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.